Hey guys, I have a fun Christmas layout and some tips for making it really quick. This is my first layout in probably 45 or 50 days, so I'm excited. I'm Katie Taylor at scrappinkaty.com, where I show you how to preserve your family's memories through the art of scrapbooking.
I have pulled out reindeer days and reindeer memories for a couple of reasons. The reindeer memories is the scrapbooking kit, and I love that it comes with some chipboard, so the joy, and then it also comes with a die cut sheet. So I'm going to be using the die cut sheet for some of my titles. You can see there. But what the scrapbooking kit doesn't come with, it doesn't come with a full paper packet of the reindeer days. And so that's why I'm going to be pulling from the reindeer days, because I want some of the reindeer patterns. And I want to use my die cut, my Reindeer Fun thin cuts. I want to use those to die cut some of these pieces so I don't have to color. I have the stamp, but again, if I can just die cut the paper, then it makes it a lot easier for me. So that's why I've pulled both collections. I've also purchased the sticker sheet for Reindeer Days. And so I may be pulling some of the stickers in as well. And then as far as my photos go, I'm going to be using a sketch from the creative design team, one of our 12 by 12 sketchbooks. I think I'm going to use this one right here. And I'm going to pretty much build it as a 2-page layout, just for ease, because of all the measurements are there. But these two photos that I'm using are from 2 totally different years. And I'm not sure how you scrapbook, but I think I've touched on this before, is I scrapbook by kid and by family. So each child has their own scrapbook. So of course our daughter here, this will go into her scrapbook. And because these are 2 different years, I use D-ring albums. So I am able to do these 2 and then insert them. So here's what I'm talking about. So this is one of her albums. Because I use D-ring albums, I can go and of course, this photo is younger than this photo. So when I do these 2 layouts, even though it's using the same paper collection, I can go find where that photo is going to be inserted, and I can insert it into her album. And then the other one, I can insert it where it needs to go. And then those paper patterns will be separated, I guess is what you say. And then also I've chosen all double page layouts can be made to single, but I've chosen one that doesn't have a lot of on and off the page. You know, this doesn't have to make sense with this. And so then I can also separate them that way. So I'm going to clear this off. I am going to do some pre-cutting just so you don't have to watch it. And then I will be back. Okay, I wanted to talk some things through with you before I start cutting. So the way that this layout's going to work is I'm going to have a white piece matted on a cardstock piece. And then it's going to be matted on some DSP. So the problem is that you can see that my daughter has an orange sweater on. I could have changed the color of that sweater prior to printing, but I didn't. So I'm trying to stay away from the red, a lot of red. You know, she does have the red in her headband and then right here on the holly berries. But for the most part, I don't want just red screaming at you. My first choice was this pattern because I love it. I hate that it's on the back of this because I just love those deer. But I just don't know what to do. So I thought I would do this on camera, and then y'all could see kind of how I go about. There's also going to be pattern paper behind her too. So we have that, or there's always this option. What I love about this option is it's fun. It's a string of lights. It's bright. I think it brightens up the photo as well. and it doesn't clash too much with the orange. The only thing I don't like is a lot of times linear patterns get lost when you cut them. But I think that this one will work because you'll have the linear over here, and then you'll definitely have a chopped off version over here. Let's see what this side looks like. Yeah, so you pretty much have, I mean, it's a little bit shallower over here, but you pretty much have that same look. Whereas, you know, sometimes when you use plaids, it's a different look. This one is not going to be because it's even. And then also I could separate the red. I could have the red way back here, and then the DSP that's behind her could not contain red as much. So those are my dilemmas. Probably going to go ask the people in my house what they think. Sometimes an untrained eye is a whole lot better than one that tries to be professional like I'm trying to be. So let me go discuss that and I'll be right back. So we decided on this one. I am going to go ahead and gut it. Something that I do often, especially if it's a DSP that I like. So I am leaving 1.5 inches all the way around. And that way it's going to give me enough room to adhere that other mat around it. So if you have a trimmer that allows you to start and stop your blade, you just decide what, like I'm doing 1.5 inches. So I'm starting up here 1.5 inches deep, which I do my trimmer backwards. So we're looking at 10.5 there, and then I'm going to go down to 1.5. And then you just rotate your paper 90 degrees each time and use those same measurements. And then this pops out. So I can use this for something else. This can be used for my layout. And being that this is going to be covered up, you won't even be able to tell there's a hole.
Now, off camera, I did do some die cutting of that DSP using those thin cuts from Reindeer Fun. And then I also just did some plain old fussy cutting. So that will work if you don't have a die cut machine, and that is just immediate ephemera.
So I've got everything pre-cut, and now I'm ready to start adhering down. Anytime I gut a paper, I like to actually apply my adhesive to the gutted piece, and that way I don't have to worry about getting any adhesive on the piece that's going to go on top where there isn't paper for it to adhere to. So I think I'm going to use the dark side, and I'm just going to center this. The kind of good thing about it is, remember when we were discussing plaids and how they're not always even? See how it has this like perfect little square, and even if it wasn't exactly centered, it's going to appear to be because this little line is not straight, you know. So if you're thinking, hey, that's not straight, then you may just think, oh, it's because that line's not straight. That's my thinking, at least. And then we've got this white piece of cardstock. Now, one thing I am debating on is I was going to mat her photo. That's just a little bit too much green. I was going to bring in the lighter. Again, even though I've got that lighter there, it really wasn't filling that. So then I'm planning on using this title from the die cuts from the Reindeer Memories Scrapbooking kit. That kit also comes with some exclusive DSP. So we've got this. I was planning on kind of inking around her photo, not matting it. Inking with, you know, a lighter blue color, maybe Glacier in the Close to My Heart. But then I started looking and I have this. And I think that might work. Or y'all know that I am a fan of graph paper. So I could also bring in that one, and it would really make this title pop as well. I did go ahead and gut just a little square out of this. again, this is exclusive to that scrapbooking kit. I'm not really sure I want to buy a whole nother scrapbooking kit. So I can save that. It's got this, like, they're supposed to be sleigh bells, but, you know, from afar, they just look like polka dots. So that's a non-Christmas pattern right there. Going to go ahead and adhere the photo down. Now, I did not do adhesive around the edges because I'm going to tuck in some pattern papers. And then I've got these 3 patterns. I think I'm going to dovetail them and maybe ink the edges up. I know I haven't inked the edges up on any of the other patterns, but these are going to kind of get lost if something's not done. Make sure my lights are going the right way. And these cute little Christmas trees, because I am going to bring in that fussy cut Christmas tree bunch. Or I guess they're really not Christmas trees until you put decorations on them, correct? Let me trim that one right there. Okay, so we have those, and I think I'm going to go with toffee ink. It's usually my go-to on ink distressing, especially if there's already kind of browns in here, which there is. Just taking a sponge, sponging around those edges. Again, you wouldn't have to. The other way to accomplish this is do some sort of stencil treatment behind here, or ink treatment, and that would make it pop as well. Let's go right there. I'm going to separate these kind of white background ones. It's a lot of just finagling and what looks better. It's what takes the longest. It's the most fun for me, but it definitely takes a long time. Okay, so I think I am digging that. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to go ahead and ink this up because I may put some of these over to the left. You know, just blunt cuts. So I took these pieces off. I've already adhered those down. But a lot of times if you'll add adhesive to your actual layout base, then it makes it a whole lot easier to adhere those down. So let me just pull out my T-ruler here. Pretty close. Okay, and then I have adhesive right here. Plus I'm going to add adhesive right there. And then that way, once I get these situated, it'll just automatically stick. Pretty close, y'all. Pretty close. So then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add dimensionals on the back of here. This is going to kind of be my title. It's going to overlap this open spot in the photo. So anytime you have an open spot, that's a wonderful place to either do embellishment clusters, your title. You can even journal directly onto your photo. And then I'm also going to pull out a deer while I have my dimensionals out. I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals to him. And then I don't think I'm going to have dimensionals there. Just trying to think, trying to cover all my bases here. I might have dimensionals on them. I've cut 2, so if I decide not to have dimensionals on this one, I can just use the one that... I wanted to use some twine behind the title. So I have some for my stash, which you can tell it's predominantly red, and then I have this one, the Real Red and White Baker's Twine from Stampin' Up. I think, again, because her sweater color, I think I'm going to use this one. It's just a little more red. I mean, it's a little more white, but it has that pop of red. So I'm going to just cut some on that, and then we can use it kind of as a jumble behind there. So I think I can train it to do a loop right there, a loop right there, and double up on some of the loops. So Christmas cheer, and I do want it overlapping the photo, maybe like right there, and overlapping this right side. I apologize for coughing. Still not 100%. But it's been so long since I've done a video, I just had to do it. I don't know what I did to my baker's twine over here, but it's a mess. So I'm cutting another one because I think I want one down here in this little cluster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of lay it down. And then as I put stuff over it, it'll adhere it. Actually, I think I want to move it down. Okay, so we're going to glue the trees down. I think those are going to go right here. My deer is going to go about right here, and I definitely want to use some holly as well. Now, I'm just adhering the holly leaves directly to the layout base, but the holly berries, there was a perfect little space for them to have a little mini dimensional. Super cute. I think I may put some holly up here. I wanted the light color. So the cool thing about this workshop is it comes with our brand new two-tone cardstock. So one side is the true color, and then you've got the light color. Just by using those two options, it's so cool because it gives you added dimension. So see, I've added this little mini dimensional on the back of here. And then let's take off the backings of these. And then I kind of wanted this to go somewhere down here. So I guess I'll have it resting right there. I'll have it overlapping too. Actually, I think I'll bring it down a little bit further. So I pulled out this little tab from the die cuts, and I wanted it somewhere up here. To put a date, but I'm not sure that's gonna work anymore. Let's do that. Let's put it upside down. Let's put it right here. I hate that this adorable holly is just getting lost over here. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I think I'm going to put a little mini dimensional under this part. And then I think I'm going to come back in and I'm going to trim this one. Do some dimensionals under its little leaves, and it's going to kind of go in that space under the deer. I think because of the holly berries, I can kind of bring it further down. I just didn't want to cover up this tree. So yeah, I think I'll do that. And then we'll come back in with another holly berry. Oops, stuck to my finger. And then probably gonna have to do this. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the sticker sheet right quick. There were some little small sentiments. So love this. It's cute. So we've kind of got a whole lot of light green up here, so I'm thinking that we can do that. I do want to take the adhesive off and do it with some dimensionals though. Let's grab the big ones. And then this corner looks kind of blank, but I think it'll be okay. I did go ahead and I cut some bows. And I cut some silver bells. But I think at this point, it would just be adding these to add them. And that's the last thing we need to do. And then I have these that I haven't used yet for a couple of reasons. Number one, when I first purchased them, they immediately sold out because I purchased them in the consultant or demonstrator preview period. So as a demonstrator, we get to purchase things ahead of time, mainly to kind of get some samples for you guys. It's just a perk, but I haven't really used them. Again, I haven't really been creating either, but I haven't used them. And they're just sitting here. I did give some to some of my customers that ordered from the host code. You can always find that host code down at the bottom. But aren't they just so cute? I'll have to see if they're even still available, because they haven't been. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's put another one up here. Okay, so that is it. I'm pretty pleased with my first layout in 45 days or however long it's been. I am loving the addition of this pattern paper instead of just plain white cardstock. I think it adds that background that's needed. I actually don't think that the orange clashes too much with all the red. I ended up doing more red than I wanted to, but I still think that it's perfect balance. And I love these little peaks of paper down here. So that is that. Now I'm going to do that other layout, but because I've taken so long on this video, I'm going to actually separate that. I'm going to do that on another video to kind of span things out. But that is that. Remember that I used Reindeer Fun Reindeer Memories, the scrapbooking kit. Everything that I used will be linked down below, so you can go purchase that. If you are another demonstrator or you have a demonstrator and you're not in the position to purchase from any of the links below, you can always leave me super thanks just to let me know that you've watched, you appreciate it, and you were inspired. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching, and I will see you pretty soon, actually, for that other video. Thanks, and y'all have a wonderful weekend.